You're watching the Home Team Championship Celebration live from the University of Alabama on WVUA TV.
And you are looking live at the Walk of Champions at Bryant-Denny Stadium. We are awaiting the start of the University of Alabama's National Championship celebration. In just a few moments, a special ceremony will kick off honoring the Tide for their 15th national championship, and it is amazing, the fans out there, and just a great day to be an Alabama fan for those folks out there. Alabama's Crimson Tide's season was filled with nail-biting moments, heart-stopping plays, but no matter what happened on the field, in the stands, the Bama faithful packed the stadiums and were on their feet all season long cheering for the Tide.
No doubt about it, Terry, and Victoria Sheehan earlier showed you some of the great moments with sound from the announcers and music.
Great piece.
But this is the culmination of a great season. Every moment leading up to that, it's like a book. You start out with chapter 1, you go through all the chapters. Each time a game is played, the next week is another chapter. You don't know how it's going to turn out until it's played, kind of like reading a book. And for Alabama, this book was a special one, Terry, and it all started inside Cowboy Stadium, a phenomenal facility, the best stadium in the world, out in Arlington, Texas. Number 2 Alabama taking on number 8 Michigan. The Wolverines, much like Notre Dame at the end of the season, really felt like they were back, and they thought Alabama would be the team that they would beat to catapult them to a possible national championship run. As we know, it did not happen. Alabama absolutely destroyed the Wolverines, 31-0 at one point in the second quarter. This game even more lopsided, if you can believe it, than the national championship game against Notre Dame. Alabama dominated the statistics. T.J. Yeldon, the freshman, in his first game had over 100 yards rushing for Alabama, becoming the first UA freshman to rush for more than 100 yards in his debut, and that's saying something when you think about all the great running backs that have come through the University of Alabama. So that was a highlight because it was game number 1. It was on national TV. It was in a phenomenal stadium, and Alabama made a statement that, yes, the Tide would be making a run at another national championship, 41-14. From that point on, there really weren't any close games. Alabama dominated the competition until early November in Death Valley, Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. Alabama favored over LSU, but LSU had upset on their mind. Now, the Crimson Tide got off to a good start in this one. A.J. McCarron's touchdown run right there made it 14-3. But in the third quarter, LSU would rally and lead this thing 17-14. A costly fumble by T.J. Yeldon. Alabama could have gone up by 11 points if they score a touchdown there. They did not. LSU comes back. Mettenberger, it's a beautiful touchdown throw right there. That put LSU in front, and Alabama was having some problems. But the Tide did what it had to do. They got some stops, and then the final heart-stopping drive, this screen pass to Yeldon, the game winner. Alabama, with the great last-second comeback, defeats LSU 21-17. The next week, Alabama was back at Bryant-Denny Stadium for the one loss of the season. You say, why did we show this? Well, it was a turning point in the year. Yes, Alabama lost the game against A&M and Johnny Football, but it really set the stage for the nice run. A&M jumped out 20-0 in the first quarter. Was Alabama a little hungover from the LSU game? Maybe. They certainly looked like it. But Alabama would rally in this one and have an opportunity to win it at the end. In fact, the Tide had a first-and-goal situation at the 6-yard line in the final moments, down by the score of 29-24, needing a touchdown to win it. Alabama could not get that touchdown. They would lose 29-24. Manziel had a performance that would catapult him to the Heisman Trophy. But Alabama would learn from that game, and when Oregon and Kansas State both lost the next week, Alabama took care of business the rest of the way, including killing Auburn 49-0 in the Iron Bowl, and it was off to the SEC championship game against the Georgia Bulldogs, a national semifinal game, if you will. The winner of this game, Terry, quite simply, was going to play for the BCS championship against Notre Dame, and the loser would have to settle for playing in Orlando, Florida on New Year's Day. Nobody wanted that game, and both teams played like they believed they were the best team in the country on that day. Alabama would land a punch, Notre Dame would answer. It was like two heavyweights standing off in the middle of the ring, throwing haymakers. Yes, there were mistakes. Yes, both teams got hit on the chin, but both teams would answer punch for punch. But the difference in the game was Alabama's rushing game. 350 yards on the ground. Both Lacey and yelled and went for over 100 yards in the game. And Georgia's defense could just not hold up against that Alabama offensive line. Really a preview of what would come in the BCS championship game. Still, though, the Bulldogs would have a chance in this one. They would come back. Here's the big play in the game that put Alabama up with about 4 minutes to go. McCarron to the freshman Cooper, but Alabama would hang on and win it and go on to the BCS championship game. As we've already showed you in that BCS championship game, they were down to 2. Alabama number 1 undefeated, or number 2 and 1 loss. Notre Dame number 1 and undefeated. Alabama a 9-point favorite in the game, and the Crimson Tide took the doubt out of this one early. Their opening drive, they go 80 yards for a touchdown. They scored on their next possession. In fact, they scored on their first 3 possessions. The third touchdown coming on the first play of the second quarter. It was 21-0, 28-0 at halftime, 35-0 in the third quarter. It wound up, Terry, as we've said several times, 42-14. Alabama gained 529 yards of total offense, completely balanced, 256 yards, 265 yards passing, 264 yards rushing, and the Crimson Tide won the BCS championship for the 3rd time in the last 4 years, and it was the 15th national championship in the history of the University of Alabama. So that's a look back at some of the key points in the season. And again, the loss to A&M, Alabama were kind of refocused after that. They needed some help, but as soon as they got another opportunity, they took advantage of it. Yeah,
and talk about that SEC championship game. Unbelievable.
Yes, it was. One of the great games we've ever seen in Atlanta.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we're going to give you a look live at University Boulevard, where fans are waiting for the start of the Crimson Tide's National Championship Parade. They are ready to really get an up-close look at these players and coaches.
And they say behind every great man, there's a great woman. Coming up next, hear what Alabama head coach Nick Saban says about the role his wife Terri plays in the success of the Alabama football program. That's when WVUA's Home Team Championship Celebration returns.
You're watching the Home Team Championship Celebration live from the University of Alabama on WVUA TV.
And you are looking live at the Walk of Champions at Bryant-Denny Stadium. We are awaiting the start of the University of Alabama's National Championship celebration. In just a few moments, a special ceremony will happen honoring the Tide for their 15th national championship. That's going to follow a parade down University Boulevard. Really special because it's the first national championship parade we've seen in about 20 years in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, the last one came following the 92 national championship when Gene Stallings was the head coach. 2 championships for celebrations for Nick Saban, both inside the stadium. This is a parade, though. Welcome back to our championship celebration coverage alongside Terri Brewer. I'm Gary Harris, live from the University of Alabama, right here on University Boulevard, the parade route. We're just minutes away, as Terri said, from the kickoff of that championship parade, and part of today's special celebration will include the ceremony that we've talked about right on the steps of the north end zone of Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Yeah, there are lots of fans out there staking out a good spot for that. WVUA's Danny Salter joins us live from the Walk of Champions. Danny.
Hey guys, guess who I found on the Walk of Champions? Some champions, some familiar faces from the University of Alabama gymnastics team. We've got Kayla Williams, Lindsey Fowler, Caitlin Clark, Sarah DeMio, Deandra Miller, the other D. Milner, as she told me, and Hunter Dennis. Guys, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right. Is this a lot of fun for you guys to be out here? And we've got some championship football players that are about to come through on a parade. Are you excited to see them and cheer your fellow athletes on?
I think it's great for one back-to-back team to come out and support another.
There you go. Absolutely. Hey, and you guys had a big night last night, didn't you?
Yeah, last night we took on LSU and we won.
There you go. Absolutely. Congratulations on the win. Now, I see a couple of jerseys here. Have we got some favorite Tide players?
I'm dating number 83.
There you go. Well, that would be your favorite, I'm assuming. At number 10, I think I know who that guy belongs to.
Yeah, that's not me, though.
All right, great. You guys are just getting started with the season. Last night, nice win, very solid. How are you feeling about this year?
It's looking really good for us. We're a great team, and we're working really hard, striving for the best. So, time will tell. That third national championship might be in there.
There we go. Now, I don't mean to make any trouble. I'm not trying to, but there's a lot of people out here. Is it kind of crazy how people just turn out for football?
I mean, it's Alabama football. What do you expect?
There we go. Great. You guys have a meet coming up next week. Tell us about that real quick.
Yes, next week we take on Kentucky in our Power of Pink meet. So to raise breast cancer awareness, we'd love if you guys could come out and support.
All right, super. Can you guys do a roll tide for us real quick?
Roll wait, 1, 2, 3. Roll Tide, roll!
Back to you guys.
That was good.
That was good.
Like they said, from one group of back-to-back national champions, the gymnastics team, to another group of back-to-back national champions, the football team.
Yeah, and congratulations to them, you know. And as we can see today, the fans, they will come out for just about anything. And we've got great weather today, but they will brave the cold, the heat, the rain, anything to show off that Crimson pride. The night of the championship was no different. As soon as the score was final, hundreds of yelling, screaming fans poured into the strip on University Boulevard. Look at that. What a great memory. They poured out of the restaurants, ran down the streets. It was absolute chaos in a good way. So happy, so excited for what had happened for the Alabama Crimson Tide. It was a wild scene out there. Nothing else like it, just pure joy. And over at Academy Sports in Tuscaloosa, Crimson Tide fans lined up around the building waiting for the store to open after the game. They were looking to get their hands on championship gear. The minute the game was over, the doors opened and fans were able to snap up hats, t-shirts, and other memorabilia.
I'm getting everything. I'm getting hat, shirts, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting my dad a hat, you know what I'm saying? Cause he's the first one that made me a Roll Tide fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get my little son a hat. I'm trying to buy everything up tonight.
And this latest BCS National Championship marks the fourth one for Alabama head coach Nick Saban. He holds 3 BCS titles, of course, here at Alabama, and 1 from LSU. And at the BCS press conference the morning after the championship game, a reporter asked Coach Saban, why? Why do you keep doing it? Here was his interesting answer.
You do what you do. Are you driven to be the best at what you do?
Yes, sir.
You know, there's an old Martin Luther King sermon that talks about there's only one guy that I'd let shine my shoes in Montgomery, Alabama, because of the pride he had in the performance of how he shined my shoes. I didn't want anybody else in the world to shine my shoes. And the enjoyment he got that he did a great job for what you did. And you've probably heard this sermon, and I'm just paraphrasing here, but if you're going to be a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper you can be. Sweep the streets like Michelangelo painted a Sistine Chapel, like Shakespeare wrote literature. Let him put a sign up right here that says the best street sweeper in the world lives right here. And if you can do that, you do the best you do the best there is in life, knowing you did your best to be the best you could be, no matter what you choose to do. That's why.
Pretty good explanation there. And at the BCS Championship press conference the day after the big win, our own Lynn Brooks asked head coach Nick Saban about the role his wife, Terri Saban, plays in the team's success. Saban said the two met while they were in junior high at science camp. She was in the 7th grade. He was in the 8th. At the time, Saban said Miss Terri didn't know a lot about football. Coach Saban said she does a great job with Nick's Kids, which is their charitable organization, and helping build relationships with the students at the university. He said Miss Terri is as much a part of the program as anyone.
She did not know what a first down was when we first started dating. And there's no doubt in my mind that she thinks she ought to be the head coach at Alabama right now. No doubt. So, and she is a hell of an assistant, even though she thinks she's the head coach, which when she's around, I always make her think that.
And that crystal ball is the coveted trophy that every team wants each year. Hundreds of Alabama fans got to get up close and personal with the brand new BCS National Championship Coaches Trophy. Last week, the trophy awarded to Coach Nick Saban and the Tide. The night of the championship, the team made a special stop at Walmart in Tuscaloosa. Fans from all over the country lined up to get a glimpse of that trophy. Some fans said this was their first opportunity to take a picture with the coach's trophy, but others said they now have a picture with all 3 of the crystal footballs won during the Nick Saban era.